Any
This
questions on
conference
the
will now
previous
be
one?
recorded.
Like to ask. Any questions on the previous one? So anyone practice this SAML based authentication? Pramod, have you practiced the SAML based authentication? Okay. So now we'll discuss about the respective the concept of very important concept before going to the Lambda and before going to the S3 static enablement. So there is a very important concept called Route 53, right? Before that, you guys need to, right? Before that, you guys need to ensure that. So how to enable the respective DNS actually, and what is the purpose of DNS, and how DNS is going to be help us in the functionality of enabling of your respective website, right? So now here, what is the purpose of DNS and what is DNS first? Domain naming services on the server, right? Here you have, remember this, each and everything is an iterate question. Here you have a two zones. The first one here is forward lookup zone, and the second one here is reverse lookup zone. The forward lookup zone will going to be named this one as a name to IP address, and the second one you call this one as an IP address to name, right? IP address to name. Here, what is the purpose of DNS actually, and how does it going to work? Guys, you guys are going to remember the phone numbers of your respective individuals, or you guys are going to remember of the names of the respective individuals? What you guys are going to prefer? Why name? Why not phone number? Why name? Why not phone number? Yeah, and you can easily remember the name of the individual, right? Phone number. Rather remembering the phone number, you can easily remember the respective name of the individual, right? Similarly, remembering of IP address is easy, or remembering of website name is easy in your real time. You guys are easily remember www.amazon.in, or you guys are going to be remember the IP address of Amazon.in. Let's say suppose 192.168.0.1. What you guys are going to be prefer here? Website. Similarly, the DNS will going to be help us to ensure the remembering of the name of the website actually, right? Because it's an easy way of remembrance. Because it's a easy way of remembrance. So now here I would like to know about the here you have a domain naming server or domain naming service, and here you have a two zones. One is forward lookup zone and second one is the reverse lookup zone. Here in the forward lookup zone, here you have a name to IP address. In the reverse lookup zone, you have an IP address to name. Here you have an IP address to name. So now here in this DNS, you have one more thing called DNS records, right? Here you have one more thing called DNS records. Remember carefully, DNS records are very important. You have a DNS record of A record, CNAME record, right? A record, CNAME record, triple A record, right? A record, CNAME record, triple A record, right? And also you have an SOA record, and also you have an DKM record and DMARC record, and also you have an MX record, right? All these areas you guys are going to be, you have the DNS records actually. All these areas you guys need to have an DNS records actually. Am I clear on this? A record, CNAME record, triple A record, SOA record, DKM record, DMARC record, and MX record. These are the DNS records here. So before going to understand about these records and what is the purpose of the records, you need to understand the DNS propagation. You guys need to understand the DNS propagation. Am I clear on this? DNS propagation. Now, what is the DNS propagation and how does it going to be helpful for you? Right? How does it guys are going to be helpful for you? What is the DNS propagation? How it going to be helpful for you? So, any idea, guys? When you guys are right? Any idea when you guys are searching for the www.amazon.in? What is the behind the scenes is going to be happening? What is the behind the scenes going to be happening? Oh yeah. What does it happen, Prabha? When you search for www.amazon.in, what is the behind the scenes? It resolves to the IP address. Yes, it will resort to the IP address. Right. And what else it do? What does it do actually? Server lookup to IP address. Yeah, halfway is correct actually. The DNS propagations when an end user is going to hit www. Right, the DNS propagation when an end user is going to hit www.amazon.in. You guys need to ensure that, right? You guys need to a browser, a end user is hitting to the www.amazon.in. Right, Amazon.in. First, it will go ahead and check to the right. First, it will go ahead and check to the respective stuff here. Under the which file it going to be checked? Under /etc/post file. Have you ever enabled the fine tuning for your respective DNS name? Have you ever enabled the fine tuning for the DNS name? So you've been enable the respective, right? You've been enabling the respective DNS name servers, right? DNS name servers. You've been enabling the respective DNS name servers here. So now here, the DNS name servers, here you guys are going to mention, right, under the /etc/host. First, have you ever enabled your any record directly on host file? Yeah, it will for the locally. First, it will going to check for the whether you have mentioned any kind of DNS records under this file action. The first step, go ahead and check the under the first file. It's going to go ahead and check the /etc/host file. /etc/host file. It go ahead and going to check here, and then If it is unable to find the DNS record in this file, the next step it will go ahead and check in the /etc resolve.config actually. /etc resolve.conf actually. /etc resolve.config here. /etc resolve.config here. Here it will try to find out the name servers. Here it will try to find out the name servers here. Here it will try to find out the name servers here. Right here it will try to find out the name servers here. So generally the name servers here it's going to be find out 8.8.8 and 8.4.4 or 8.2.2, 8.8.8, 8.4.4 and 2.2.2.2 and 4.4.4.4. So this is how it will find out the name servers. In these name servers, it try to find out the DNS records. Right? In this name servers, it try to find out the DNS records. Here you have an A record, C name record, and AAA record, and SOA, DKM record, and DMARC record in this name servers. If it is unable to find out the respective name servers and this respective records of your specific domain called www.amazon.in, the next step it will go for an where it go for TLDs actually. It will go for an TLDs. The TLDs are nothing but now here. Now the TLDs are nothing but here. A top level domain here. Top level domains. TLD is nothing but a top level domain. Example. What do you mean by TLDs, guys? What is mean by top level domains actually? What do you mean by top level domain? Yeah. So now here the top level domain here is called as like .com, .org and .co.in. .com, .org, .co.in, .co.in and .edu, right? And .edu, right? And .edu. So this is how it's going to be happen here. Right? This is how it's going to happen. Right? This is how it's going to happen. So now in .in and .live, whatever it is, .in and .live, whatever it is. So now what is my request, guys? What is my request here? Whether it's .in or .com or .co.in or what is my request here? .in, www.amazon.in. So it will go ahead and check in this way, the alphabetical order along with Amazon.in. It will try to find out the name servers here. Let it try to find out the name servers here. www.amazon.in. It will try to find out the name servers here. If the name servers here, right? If the name servers here, right? If the name servers here, it will try to find out the name servers. If it is able to find out the name servers, you will get the respective website, or else you will get the error like name servers not found. Name servers not found. Name servers not found. If not, it will not going to get the name servers not found. This is how it works. Am I clear on this? Any questions, any doubts? This is called DNS propagation.
Yeah, I have a doubt. For the etc host and etc resolve conf, right? So it will be in user system, or it will be searching in like remote host.
No, user system. Good question actually, Banu. Very good question. It's an user system.
Okay, got it. And TLD is in a host system, like where
Yeah, TLD is the main root servers actually.
remote. Okay,
Remote.
okay, clear.
The entire flow you call this one as a DNS propagation. That is the behind the scenes it's going to be happen. Right? That is a behind the scenes it's going to be happen. Am I clear on this? Right? Any questions, any doubts? So now here, let me save this and let me provide you the right. Let me provide you the respective picture for you. So see this. .png device TMS. Right. This is how it's going to be happen. So let me save right away. So any questions on this? Anyone or everyone is fine with this? Right. So now here you guys need to know about the records first. What do you mean by a record and what do you mean by right CNAME record and what do you mean by right what do you mean by the respective a record CNAME record right triple A record right triple A record right triple A record and also you need to understand about the one more record called MX record, DKIM record and DMARC record and also you need to understand about the very important record called SOA record, state of authority record. But in your real-time environment as an AWS admin, you guys are mostly working on the only the CNAME and the SOA. CNAME and the SOA. Now coming to the A record will going to be helpful for your respective name to IP address. Name to IP address. A record will going to update for your respective name to IP address. And CNAME record will going to be helpful for your IP address to name. CNAME record will going to be helpful for your respective aliasing name actually. This is called canonical record or aliasing record. This is called canonic record or aliasing record. Canonical record or aliasing record. Right, or the aliasing record actually. Right. So now here, for example, what does it do here is www.amazon.com. When an end user is going to hit www.amazon.com, right, it will automatically redirect to the aliasing record called www.yahoo.com. Right, www.yahoo.com. Right, www.yahoo.com. That's how it's going to happen. So now here, the main difference between A record and the AAA record. Now here, the main difference between A record and the AAA record here. So A record is for name to IP address. So this is nothing but IPv4. This is nothing but IPv4. Right now here, this is nothing but IPv6. This is nothing but IPv6 for your respective IPv6 here. At IPv6. So now here, this is MX record is for mailing service record, mail service record actually. Mailing services, right? Mailing services record. No, AAA record only. AAA record, not 4S, AAA. Okay. So mailing service record. This is all for the mailing services. MX, mail exchange record, DKM record, and DMARC record. All the mailing functionalities will come into this respective mailing server. And SOA, state of authority record. So what is the purpose of state of authority record? Right, SOA, state of authority record. Right, state of authority record. What is the purpose of state of authority? What does it do? The state of authority record, basically what does it do here? Let's say suppose a individual, right? Let's say suppose a individual here. Let's say suppose a individual which is completely managing the name servers. I can manage your respective www.amazon.com or www.yahoo.com records. And Pramod can also manage the same www.amazon.com and the same www.yahoo.com records. Right? Same www.amazon.com and the same www.yahoo.com records. But the thing is, those records are not valid, right? Whatever Ganesh is managing the record and whatever the Pramod is managing the record, those records are not valid. And who is going to be authority here, right? Which is the valid records? That is going to be your state of authority record, the job of the state of authority. It will delegate the right name servers. It will delegate the name servers here. It will delegate the name servers here. Am I clear on this? It will delegate the name servers here. That is how it works here. State of authority. Right? It will delegate the name servers here. The state of authority record here. These are the main records that you guys need to follow in your respective real-time environment. Am I clear on this? Any questions, any doubts? The records, A record, CNAME record, AAA record, and canonical record, right?
CNAME, what I understood, is it kind of redirection happening? So whatever was new.
It's a canonical record, aliasing record actually. Let's say suppose if you are calling Ganesh, but it should route to Pramod or it should route to Bono. It's a canonical record. But what you guys are doing here, exactly here. So you discuss in the ELB about SOA record. So now here, you've been calling to www.amazon.com, but where it is routing actually in your respective real-time environment? It is routing to the ELB DNS, right? It is creating the aliasing here. Even though the end user is calling the www.amazon.in or amazon.com, it is redirecting to the DNS of your respective ELB. It is redirecting to the DNS of your respective ELB. It is redirected to the DNS of the respective ELB. Right? Am I clear on this? It is redirected to the respective DNS of the ELB here. So that is what it's trying to do. So this is called aliasing action. Right? This is called aliasing action. Right? Am I clear on this? Any questions? Any doubts? Right? No, targeting parts. Yes, the host name. When you are using the host actually, right? When you are posting the use, it will automatically redirect to your respective CNAME for your ELB here. That's how it works, right? So we'll see. We'll create our own record here. We'll create our own record here, and we'll see in the practical, so that you guys are can able to understand. So DNS part is clear. What is the purpose of DNS? How the DNS is work? DNS part is clear. And how many DNS records are there? What do you mean by DNS propagation, right? And what is the main difference between the, right? What is the main difference between the this respective one, the DNS, and how it's going to be work? You guys are clear with this, right? So now you guys need to understand about the Route 53 actually, right? Now here you guys need to understand about the Route 53 actually. So why the name Route 53 comes into the picture actually? Why you are calling as the name as Route 53? Any guesses? Why the naming convention as the 53? When you are using the A record, yeah, it's a forward lookup job. And when you are using the PTR record, right, it is called reverse lookup job, right? When you are using the PTR record, you are using the reverse lookup job. So PTR record will going to be provide you the details of your IP address to name. This will going to be ensure that IP address to name. Whereas A record, it will ensure the name to IP address. Right? This is called reverse lookup job. This works in the reverse lookup job. Reverse lookup job. This works in the reverse lookup job, and this works in your respective. Right? This works in your respective forward lookup job. Forward lookup job. This works in the respective forward lookup job. That's how it works. Right? This is with reverse lookup, forward lookup job, and this is with reverse lookup job. Right? Am I clear on this? So now here, yeah, now here you need to understand about the, right? Now here you need to understand about the Route 53. Why I have discussed this respect to DNS, irrespective of which is irrelevant to our topic. There is a relevant actually, right? The Route 53 completely deals with this respective DNS, right? The Route 53 is completely deals with the respective DNS. Route 53 completely deals with your respective DNS here. So now here DNS will works with the respective protocol called, sorry, DNS will works with the port number called 53 actually. DNS works with the port numbers called 53 actually. That's why the naming convention they have given the route 53. So it is routing your respective request to reach the exact specific destination, and also you guys are going to be ensure that the DNS record is going to be valid. That's why the naming convention here. That's why the naming convention here will going to help you for the Route 53. Am I clear on this? Right? Any questions, any doubts here? Right? So now here you have a Route 53 here where the DNS port number it has been using 53. That's why you use the naming convention as the Route 53. So here you guys are having the respective 6 routing policy. This is an interview question. Remember carefully. 6 routing policies. Simple routing policy. Failover routing policy. Right? Weighted routing policy. Right? Weighted routing policy. Right? Weighted routing policy here. And also you have an geolocation routing policy. Geolocation routing policy. And also you have an right, and also you have an one more important thing, geolocation routing policy. And also you have an multi-value routing policy. Multi-value routing policy. And also you have an the name, the respective one here, latency routing policy. Right, latency routing policy. Geolocation routing policy, failover routing policy, multi-value routing policy, weighted routing policy, geolocation routing policy, and latency routing policy. These are the 6 main important things that you have been using here. These are the 6 main important things that you guys are using here. So now here you guys need to understand about the. So now here you guys need to understand about the which routing policy will going to be helpful for your respective real-time environment, right? Which routing policy you guys need to helpful for your respective real-time environment. So now here ensure that here what is simple routing policy will do and what is the all other routing policies will do. So the simple routing policy will going to be enable the simple routing policy will going to be enable the right. It will just perform the DNS queries actually, whatever the DNS queries you have, without any other additional feature. It will completely perform the DNS queries. Right? It will completely perform the DNS queries. If suppose you are asking to resolve the A record, it will resolve the A record. If you are asking to resolve the CNAME record, it will resolve the CNAME. It will asking to resolve the respective state of authority record, it will use the state of authority record. Like that, it's going to be performed without any additional features here. It will simply perform the DNS queries actually. This will simply perform the DNS queries actually. This is how it works. And the next here, it will perform the activity, right? It will perform the activity. Right? It will perform the activity here. For example, right? It will going to be performing the activity here. Right? It will going to perform the activity here. For example, the geolocation routing policy, how it going to be helpful? The simple routing policy, it will just perform the DNS queries. The geolocation routing policy, it will perform you the right. It will perform you the respective. Right? It will perform you the respective. Let's say suppose based on the source IP address, it will route your respective request. Based on the source IP address, it will route to the your yes exactly right. It will route your respective request here. So how to find out the source of the IP address? What is a way to perform the source of the respective IP address? Then what is a way to perform the source of the IP address here? What is my IP? Right, it will showcase your respective location here. Right, if I use the what is my IP here, right, if I use the what is my IP here, so it will clearly helpful for you to enable. See, I am from the respective geo Hyderabad location and based upon the country India. Indians can able to attach. There are well versed with the English language actually. So when I open this respective one, any kind of website, it will by default it will show me. Right, if I open this respective Amazon.in, right, Amazon.in, by default the language will going to showcase for me English. Right, if I am going to open same Amazon.com, right, .com, in the respect to Korean location. Koreans are not able to understand English actually. They are not good at English. But the people who are from the Indians, they are well versed with the English. Right? That's why you guys are having the more opportunities. Right? So they will follow only the Korean language. Right? They will follow only the Korean language here. Right? They will only perform the Korean language here. Am I clear on this? So this is how it's going to be happen. Right? This is how it's going to be happen here. The other main important thing here is that you guys need to know here. The other main important thing that you guys need to know here, right? This geolocation routing policy, if you are hitting from the respective, right, India, it will going to be open your respective website based upon the language of English. And if you are open with the respective Korean, if your source IP is in Korea, it will going to hit from the respective Korean language. If your source IP is in the respective Chinese, it will open from the respective Chinese language actually. Based upon your location, it's going to route your respective website, right? From this specific region, it will open your respective website here like this. Am I clear on this? Any questions, any doubts here? Location wise routing actually. It will check your respective location based upon your source IP, and it will route to the specific website. It will route to the right specific website here, right? It will route to the specific website here. It will route to the specific website here. That's how it's going to be happening. It will route to the specific website here. Am I clear on this? Any questions, any doubts? This is how it's going to be happening. So now here, the next one here you have in the failover routing policy. The next one here, you've been discussing about the failover routing policy. So what it's going to do is the failover routing policy. The name itself is going to indicate for you the failover routing policy, right? The name itself is going to indicate for you the failover routing policy here. What does it do? What does it going to do is the failover routing policy here. So now here the failover routing policy is going to be verify the health checks of your respective. They will create one active and passive applications actually. Active and passive applications. For example, www.amazon.in should be having the respective load balancers of two actually. They will create a ALB of the two. Right? They will create a ALB of the two here. Two ALBs they will create. ALB1 and ALB2. Right? ALB1 and ALB2 here. Right? ALB1 and ALB2. So now here they will have a specific target groups. If ALB1 is going to went down, it will going to be route to the ALB2. If ALB2 is went down, it's going to route to the ALB1. If both are went down, then gone case. Right? That's how it's going to be happen in the failover routing policy. In this failover routing policy, you have an right in the failover routing policy, you have completely enablement of your respective services here, right? Without any downtime. That's how it's going to be happen. So am I clear on this? Any questions, any doubts about the geolocations and the failover routing policy? Any questions, guys, on the simple routing or failover or the geolocation routing policy? So that's how it's going to be happen. So now the next question, next one here, you have an weighted routing policy. you have a weighted routing policy here. This weighted routing policy is pretty important on your respective, right, in the real-time environment. They will going to be enable this respective weighted routing policy based upon the need action. So we'll see how it works. So now, for example here, so here you have the weighted routing policy here. Here you have two ALBs. ALB1 and ALB2. Let's consider that scenario. ALB1 and ALB2 here. And here you have a target group. And here you have a target group. And here you have a respective instances here. Here you have a respective instances here. Here you have a respective instances here. This respective instances here these instances will have the T2 micro. This is completely will having the T2 micro, right? T2 micro, and this is completely will going to have the respective M54 extra large, respect to M54 extra large. So now here you guys need to understand M54 extra large. Now here you guys need to understand which is the stronger one, whether T2 micro is ALB1 is the stronger or ALB2 is the stronger here. Which is the stronger one here? ALB2 is the stronger here, right? ALB2 is the stronger one here. Where it having the M54 extra large here. So where it having the M54 extra large here, right? M54 extra large here. So now here you guys need to understood that. So 90% of traffic, right? 90% of traffic will going to be routed to the, right, your respective ALB2. 90% of traffic will going to be routed to the respective ALB2. 90% of traffic will going to be routed to the respective ALB2. And remaining 10% of traffic will going to routed to your respective ALB1. 10% of traffic will going to be routed to the ALB1 here. So this is how it's going to happen. Right? This is how it's going to happen. Right? Am I clear on this? Any questions guys here? This is how it's going to be happen here. So based upon the respective, right? Based upon the respective needed here. The percentage how you need to set that respective percentage actually. You guys need to enable the respective percentage here. So you have a two set of IDs where you can mention the respective percentage here. That's how it's going to happen. Right? That's how it's going to happen. Right? So now here, you guys need to understand about the, so now here you guys need to understand about the respective latency routing policy, right? Respective latency routing policy here, right? Respective latency routing policy here. So in this respective latency routing policies, how it works? In this respective latency routing policies, how it works here? The latency routing policies is completely works with the shortest path first. For example, when an end user, for example, when an end user is going to hit from your respective location of Mumbai, he is from Mumbai actually, right? He is from Mumbai. So now here your setup has been set into the multi-region actually. AP South -1, which is an Mumbai, and this is with respective Singapore AP South East -1, and this is the next one here you have an right. This is the next one here you have an right of US actually US West -2. But all these things are going to be all the three multiple regions are this. Now here you need to understand about which is the nearest location for this guy. Which is the nearest location for this guy? Which is the nearest location for this guy here? From the if the guy is eating from the Mumbai, it's the nearest location is AP South -1. So the latency routing policy will going to be ensure that right. The latency routing policy will going to be ensure that which is my nearest location, right? Ensure that which is my nearest location, and it will going to be route to the respective and which is going to be route to the respective nearest location. That's how the latency routing policy hits. So now here the similar thing you guys are going to be use this latency routing policy with the help of your respective right with the help of your respective CloudFront, right? CloudFront, which is a CDN network with the help of respective CloudFront, which is a CDN network here, right? The CloudFront, which is an the latency routing policy will going to be used for your respective right CloudFront for your respective CloudFront. So now here the CloudFront. You have discussed about the simple, you have discussed about the failover, you have discussed about the weighted, geolocation you have discussed, latency routing policy you discussed. And the remaining is this is the newest one actually, the latest one here you can call this one. The multi-value routing policy, right? The multi-value routing policy, right? Multi-value routing policy. So this respective multi-value routing policy here, you guys need to understand here the multi-value routing policy here. You guys need to understand here the multi-value routing policy. With one Aadhaar number, can I get the multiple SIM cards? With one Aadhaar number, can I get the multiple SIM cards here? With one Aadhaar number, yes, right? Similarly, right? Right. Similarly, you guys going to be right? Similarly, you guys going to be getting the same thing actually, right? Similarly, you guys are going to getting the same thing. You guys can have the multiple A record for your respective domain. So www.amazon.com or amazon.in, you have a multiple A records here. For example, you have an 192.168.0.1, right? And here you have an 192.168.0.2, and you can have an 192.168.0.3. Like that, you can have the multiple A records. So that is how the multi-value routing policy works, right? But that is how the multi-value routing policy works here, right? Am I clear on this? All the routing policies, how the DNS happen, how the DNS propagation happen, right? right? Any questions, any doubts here? Mangesh. Caching is come into the picture of CloudFront, right? That I will discuss, right? How the caching works, that I will discuss on the respective CloudFront actually. How the caching works, that I will works on the respective, right, CloudFront here. So am I clear on this? So now here you guys are going to be how to purchase a domain and how to use your respective domain actually. That will going to be discussed here. So whenever you are going to be using the respective, whenever you guys are going to be using the respective domain here, right? First of all, you need to purchase the, yes, you can have the multiple domain. You can, that's how the multi-value works, right? Right. So now here you need to understand about the how the new, if suppose you guys are going to be enable the, right, suppose you guys are going to be enable the new domain, you want to configure your own domain, so how you guys are going to be used in the respective scenario here. So firstly you need to purchase a domain from the GoDaddy. That's what you need to do by tomorrow actually. Purchase a domain from the GoDaddy. So this is my GoDaddy login actually. You can purchase, the cost is around 150 rupees, I think. 150 or 120 or something like that actually. You need to sign in first, get into the sign in first, right? You need to enter the, I'm going with this Google sign in. So I purchased one domain. Similarly, you guys can purchase one domain. I purchased one domain called kvastro.life, right? So now here one, I connected one domain actually. So I purchased one domain actually. I purchased this domain for the 150 rupees actually. Like similarly, you can also purchase your respective domains here, whatever domain you want. It's when you are using when you guys are going to be using the .live, right, or .co.in, you will get with the less price actually, right? You guys are going to be get with the respective less price here. That's how it's going to be happen. You just purchase a domain here so that you guys are easily track your respective right. Easily you can track your respective domain here. We'll discuss how you guys are going to map to your respective domain to our ELB here in the coming classes. Just only purchase this, and from the domain register panel to how you are going to be routing your respective ALB, how you are using the DNS, that I will discuss in the coming classes. Right? By Monday I will discuss. So now here this week assignment. So where are you up to? So you have enabled up to MFA with the IAM of the Google Authenticator. So post that you have discussed about the cloud formation template. So the assignment number 7 here, create a EC2 and RDS with the help of cloud formation template. Delete the stack once you guys have created it. Delete the stack once you have once you have once you have created the resources. Only this two. nothing else. Created the resources, right? Only this two, nothing else. DNS, all those things we'll discuss well. Lambda S3 static website will consider in the assignment number 8. Right? This is how it's going to run. Am I clear on this? Right? So we'll connect on the Monday sharp at 8. Thank you guys. Thanks everyone.